Thanks for watching. Go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified of each new video as it comes out.
Hey everybody, I'm JJ Johnson. You're watching Reality Survival, and today we're going to talk about the 4 stages of team development. Now, this information was developed by Bruce Tuckman back in 1965, and I'm basically going to be pulling from his information and relaying it to you. The context for which we're talking about this is that I think it's important to study team development. You know, in the military, that is one thing that we do a lot of, is we study a lot about the psychology of group dynamics and you know, working together as a team and those different kinds of things. I've had this presented to me 2 or 3 times throughout my career, and I think it's good information to know. And so with regard to preppers who might be trying to form a mutual assistance group, or you're just working with your friends and family, or just maybe just working with your neighbors because a bad situation happened, it's good to understand these 4 stages of development, because as a general rule, most groups are going to go through these stages. And if you know the stages ahead of time and you know what to expect, then you can help educate each other in understanding the processes, and it can also help you move through the stages faster if you're aware of what's happening. So with that, I'm going to go into the key takeaways for those people with just a 2 or 3 minute attention span or less. I'll hit a few key points here that he points out, and then we'll go into each stage a little bit more in depth. And like I said, I am basically just pulling the information straight, you know, from info that they have published and providing it to you. I'll throw in a little bit of my commentary and that kind of thing, but essentially I'm just passing it along and hoping that this will spur you to do more research on this subject. Okay? All right, so key points here are that a team will move through a series of 4 phases from when they are formed to when their work is complete. During the forming stage, which is the first stage, the team discusses its purpose, defines and assigns tasks, and establishes timelines, and begins forming personal relationships. The often contentious storming stage, which is the second one, is the period when team members clarify their goals and their strategy for achieving them. The third stage is the norming stage, and that is when the team establishes its values for how individuals will interact and collaborate. And the fourth stage is the performing stage. And this is the stage of team development when team members have productive relationships and are able to communicate and coordinate effectively and efficiently. Now, while teams move through the 4 stages in sequence, the phases may be overlapped or repeated. So we've got you know, the basic 4 here are the forming stage, the storming, the norming, and the performing. And that's kind of the order that they go in. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the forming stage. The first step in a team's life is bringing together a group of individuals. Individuals focus on defining and assigning tasks, establishing a schedule, organizing the team's work, and other startup matters. In addition to focusing on the scope of the team's purpose and how to approach it, individuals in the formation stage are also gathering information and impressions about each other. Since people generally want to be accepted by others during this period, they are usually trying to avoid conflict and disagreement. Team members may begin to work on their task independently and not yet focus on their relationships with other team members. So the team has just come together, everybody's been formed up, and we're still polite with each other. We haven't really started to let our feelings be known. We're starting to make assessments and judgments about other people and how they'll work with us and all those kinds of things, but we really kept our opinion to ourselves. So that's kind of the first stage. Forming is kind of that friendly stage as well. You might think about it that way. The storming stage. Once their efforts are underway, team members need to clarify or need clarity about their activities and goals, as well as explicit guidance about how they will work independently and collectively. This leads to the period known as storming. Because it can involve brainstorming ideas, and also because it usually causes disruption. That's why they call that, because it's brainstorming ideas, and it also usually causes disruption. During the storming stage, members begin to share ideas about what to do and how to do it, and those ideas have to compete for consideration amongst the group. Team members start to open up to each other and confront one another's ideas about perspectives. Because storming can be contentious, members who are averse to conflict will find it unpleasant or even painful. This can decrease motivation and effort by drawing attention away from tasks. In some cases, storming, i.e. disagreements, can be resolved rather quickly. Other times, the team member never leaves the stage and becomes stuck and unable to do work. Patience and consideration towards team members and their views go a long way towards avoiding this. So this is the stage where people start to show their true colors, their personality starts to come out. People who are a little bit more aggressive might start to be a little bit more boisterous on what they want done and how they want it done. People might also be competing for leadership roles and those kinds of things. And this is, again, a natural part of the process, that understanding what's going on and trying to be patient with people who are just trying to, let everything out in the open can go a long way to making things more smooth. But it's important here to know, like it says here, that you can become stuck in this phase. And if you do, you'll find that nothing's getting done. There's a lot of unproductivity and a lot of disagreement, and so you need to figure out a way to get everybody more bonded and more on the same page, and to open up communication and all those kinds of things. So anyway, the storming or the norming stage, that's the third stage. Successfully moving through the storming stage means that a team has clarified its purpose and strategy for achieving its goals. It now transitions to a period of focused It now transitions to a period focused on developing shared values about how team members will work together. These norms of collaboration can address issues ranging from when to use certain modes of communication, such as email versus telephone, or how to conduct team meetings, how those meetings will be run, and what to do when conflicts arise. Norms become a way of simplifying choices and facilitating collaboration, since members have shared expectations about how the work will get done. So this is the point where we start to get organized. We start to recognize people's different roles, how you can communicate to those people to be more effective and getting them to be more receptive in that communication, and when things start to kind of gel as a team. All right, the last one, the performing stage. Once norms are established and the team is functioning as a unit, it enters the performing stage. By now, team members work together easily on independent tasks and are able to communicate and collaborate and coordinate effectively. There are fewer time-consuming distractions based on interpersonal and group dynamics. For this reason, motivation is usually high and the team members have confidence in their ability to attain goals. While these four stages, forming, storming, norming, and performing, are distinct and generally sequential, they often blend into one another and even overlap. A team may pass through one phase only to return to it. For example, if a new member joins the team, there may be a second brief period of formation while the person is integrated into the team. A team may also need to return to an earlier stage if its performance declines. Team building exercises are often done to help a team through its developmental process. So that's the basics on the stages of team development as identified by Bruce Tuckman, all the way back in 1965. And I think these are kind of timeless things that really still apply to pretty much any group, whether it be a prepper group or a military unit or people who are working at the bowling alley, just a team somewhere, whatever the case may be. It's sort of just human nature kind of broken down into, basic categories. But my recommendation is spend some time learning about this stuff, because this stuff is what makes good teams even better. And so if you put a little bit of time and devotion into learning about these kinds of things, it'll help you, especially during a stressful situation when you have people show up to your home, or your MAG comes together and has to live together for the first time ever. Those are stressful circumstances and all that kind of stuff. And understanding how things are going to go are going to give you a leg up. Like, for example, when you start to recognize that your team is entering the storming phase, if you can take a little extra time at that point and do some team building skill or team building things, maybe take additional time to get to know each other, pair people up that look like that there could potentially be issues, so that they have a chance to talk and get to know one another. There's a lot of different strategies that you could use, but you might want to do that, just to keep other catastrophic problems from happening further down the road. So anyhow, guys, I hope this has been useful. Again, it's really just to hopefully get you to spur some thought about learning about group dynamics, interpersonal relationships, influencing people with positive messages and all of those kinds of things, because the skill of learning to work with people is probably one of the most important skills you can have for surviving an SHTF kind of situation, in my opinion. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, then please click the thumbs up button. And I always appreciate it when you share it with your friends on Facebook and Twitter. And don't forget to live the 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe, guys.